Okay, continuing where we left off, 2.3. So now you want the equation of f. So what do you know? You know f of x is equal to ax. All right, let's just write this nicely. This is ax squared plus q. So you want to know what a is, you want to know what q is. Okay, so right now you don't have any of that information. You don't know what a is, you don't know what q is. If you did know your y-intercept, then you would have your q value. Okay, but we don't have that, so there has to be a different way in order for us to find this. There is another equation that you should know it off by heart, which is going to be f of x, or another way to represent your parabola, your quadratic function, and it's with this equation. We call this equation the intercept form. Okay, it's going to be a open bracket x minus x1 close bracket open bracket x minus x2. So this is also a quadratic, right? This is also a general form, but this is the intercept form. So you will use this one when you have your intercepts. You will use this one when you have your turning point, your q value. Okay, so let's see quickly. Right, so when we look back at our picture, we have our x-intercepts. We found those in the previous video. X-intercepts is there and there. So we're going to take those and substitute it into our equation that we've written over here. Okay, so let's go. Instead of f of x, I'm going to use y just for simplicity. So I'm going to say y is equal to a, open bracket, x is going to stay x, minus x1 is my first x-intercept, which is going to be this value here. So I'm going to put my minus 2 in there. Minus 2. Now this double negative doesn't make sense, so put that in brackets. And then we open another bracket, and it's going to be x minus x2. That is going to be this one over here, which is that 2. So we're going to go put that in there. Right, so now we need to do some manipulation. Let's just clean the bracket up over there. So it's going to be y equals a, open bracket, x. This negative multiplies with that negative, so it's going to be a plus 2, close bracket, open bracket, x minus 2. So we have options now. One of our options is we can multiply this out and clean it up, or we can go ahead and substitute immediately. So if you look at this equation that I've underlined, if you look at this one, how many unknowns do you have? You have one unknown, which is your a. And if you have one unknown, what do you need? You need one coordinate, right? So let's go look back. We have one coordinate, this coordinate over here. We can't use our intercepts, right? The equation is going to end up equaling 0. So let's make this generalization. You can't use your intercepts because you used your intercepts when you did your substitution into this equation, right? Into this equation. So you can't use your intercepts again. You need to use something else, and this is the coordinate that they've given you. One unknown, one coordinate, that's the coordinate. So let's go substitute that. It's minus 1 and 3. We're going to go substitute minus 1 and 3. Minus 1, minus 1, and is it minus 3? That needs to be substituted, right? Minus 1, minus 3, that's right. So we're going to say minus 3, which is a y value, equals a. We want to find x is going to be minus 1 plus 2 from our equation, minus 1 minus 2. So what did I just do? I took this coordinate that we had, and I put it into this equation. So instead of y, you've got your minus 3. A we want to find, instead of x, you have your minus 1. Instead of x, whenever I have x, I put my minus 1. So now we can simplify and try and find the a value. So still minus 3 equals a. Minus 1 plus 2 is going to be 1. Minus 1 minus 2 is going to be minus 3. Okay, so on my left-hand side, I still have my negative 3. My right-hand side, I have a times minus 3. Divide both sides with a negative 3 so that a can be on its own. So a is going to equal to positive 1. So now I'm going to go back, and I'm going to go to this equation, and I'm going to substitute my a value. So it's going to be y is equal to a, which is 1, open bracket, x, plus 2, and x minus 2. Obviously, if this is multiplying with 1, you don't have to write the 1. So let's get rid of that. Okay, so here, let's just multiply it out because we want our equation in this form. Okay, so we're going to do our multiplying out. We're going to expand. The x multiplies with the x, gives us x squared. The x multiplies with a negative 2 to be minus 2x. Plus 2 times x is plus 2x. Plus 2 times minus 2 is negative 4. These middle terms are like, they're going to cancel out. So you'll end up with x squared minus 4. I'm going to change this back to f of x because that was the notation they used. So I'm going to use that notation. So there we've done 2.3. Okay. The axis of symmetry of f, I think we've already discussed this slightly, but we haven't mentioned it, right? So it is this line over here, your axis of symmetry, and the equation of that line is going to be x equals 0. And then lastly, for which values of x is f of x increasing? Okay, so now we are trying to see where is this graph going up. So increasing is obviously going up. That's okay. Let's get that back. Increasing is going this way. That's increasing. It's going up. Decreasing is going to be going down. Decreasing is this way. So you always start left to right. Okay, so if you over here, you on your left hand side and you are walking along the graph, let's zoom in a bit, right? If you over there and you're walking along this graph, you're walking down, 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 down until a certain point, and then you start walking up, 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 right? So, and you're going to walk up for a while. So the question is, where are you walking up? What are the x values where the graph is increasing? What are the x values where you are walking up? Okay, so let's maybe just change the color a little bit here because there's a lot of green here. So from this point over here, all the way here, I'm walking up. Everywhere before this point, everywhere on that side, we were going down. Okay, but from this point over here, which is our turning point, all the side, everything on the side, right? And there's an arrow there, so we know that continues. Everything on that side, we are increasing. This graph is going up. So our answer is going to be x is an element from this point. What's the x value here? The x value is 0. And we're going up all the way that way. So we're going up until infinity, positive infinity. Right? We just need brackets. Now we know infinity can never be included, so infinity is going to be around. Now 0. At 0, at that turning point, are you going up or are you going down? Well, you're going neither, right? At your turning point, you are flat. So the gradient, the steepness at your turning point is 0. It's in fact horizontal like that. Okay, so you're not going up, nor are you going down. So at 0, it's also going to get a round bracket. Okay, that's it for this question.